Hello, Internet.
Hello, Internet. It is me, Subtle Ryan.
Hello.
Damn
Yeah,
it.
do we have that same wine glass?
It's the size of my head.
I think. Oh, wait, no,
No.
not that one. But we have another one. I think is like
Mine
the
is
exact one you have.
much bigger.
Look, I'll show you.
Aren't
Like-
most wine glasses quite similar?
No, it's
Surprisingly not.
No. We had to get
Well,
stemless ones because the wine glasses in this house kept getting shattered.
I actually. So the one I'm about to show you
I like
was.
I like
a
how it
set
was the
of-
glasses were the subject of that sentence. They were not being shattered, they were just shattered.
That's
The wine
right.
glasses are shattered.
Is
What
it
happens
is that a
because
Crate and
of
Barrel
cats or
special?
things, yeah.
I don't know, but Matthew got
It's
me
very
these,
similar.
and then
Yeah, it looks
and
very
it
similar.
kept breaking because they're like.
They're thin.
I would put it like this, just in the dishwasher, or
Oh,
not
yeah.
the dishwasher, but in the dish drying rack, or I'd put it in the sink and it would tip over and
Mhm.
then break, and I'm like,
Or drop it on the ground and it would break. And how did that ever happen?
no, I literally like would set it on the like in the sink and it would tip to the side and break, and I was like,
I actually bought those for you because they're supposed to be break resistant. And
I-
you've
Oh,
broken your
bullshit.
previous ones.
I
I'm
broke one.
serious.
I broke one of these hand washing it. They're super thin. But
yeah,
they're.
like if you put your fist in it.
I can. Yes,
I'm
I can.
pretty-
I can
yeah,
fist
go ahead,
it. Yes.
Yeah, if
Uh,
you fist it, it breaks right away.
My goodness.
So why?
You had to see that coming a mile
I
off.
felt immediate regret, but I was like, I didn't catch myself quickly enough to not have anyone notice, but it's fine.
That's fair. That's
Now I'll pour myself some big bottle, big glass, big bottle.
That's why I got the
Yeah,
big
okay.
glass. This is half a bottle of wine right here.
Yeah, I topped up ahead of time too. By the way,
I mean,
the,
grape juice.
I enjoy the
there's
end.
Twitch's terms of
the beginning
service.
and end of our sessions.
I think the first word said
yeah,
was
sure.
internet.
Hey, not
I don't
bad,
remember what the
great.
last word was.
The very fun part is like, so I like break it into smaller segments and ask for summary of each of those, and then do a summary of the summaries, basically.
Mhm.
But it's really funny because the beginning and end of the summary segment, like the first and last summary segment, are usually like, this was not relevant to the story. The
Yep.
players chatted about very unrelevant things, and you're like, okay, that's fair.
That's what happens.
That's true. We do
Rude.
that.
We do that.
I mean, kudos to it on recognizing that. I mean,
Yeah, it's nice. It doesn't pollute the story with whatever random bullshit we start talking about.
Right. Like this, so far 3 minutes of random bullshit.
Very relevant to the story.
You know, if I was gonna make a second Twitch channel, I would call it random bullshit.
Yeah, I know.
Or 30 seconds of random bullshit, and then just constantly switch.
Yeah.
Part Twitch streamer, part TikTok Shorts live, or whatever the fucking shit is called.
That would work
TikTok,
too.
YouTube short.
With the short attention span of
Be hard to switch
Yeah.
that often. Not gonna lie.
Just
post
put on a
millennial.
stream deck and just like click through the different scenes every few seconds. Like maybe I could be playing like 3 games, like a game of chess, a game of League, a game of TFT at the same time.
So ambitious.
Put the stream deck and alt tab on just like random timeouts, so you have to like recontext switch yourself.
This
What
is
the fuck
actually
am I
turning
doing?
into kind of a fun idea.
Oh dear.
Ooh,
Here
dear.
I'm back, creating a secondary channel.
Mm.
I've gotten a lot of new followers in the last few weeks. They were all excited to see me try and get to platinum, which I did not do.
Oops.
That's okay. It's part of the fun of
the
trying.
journey.
It is not about the journey. This journey never ends, and it's just sitting in hellfire.
It's the
But
friends.
it's about your follower count and your
Yeah.
views.
It's the friends
There's
you
a
make along
moral
the
of
way.
this story of pushing a boulder up a hill, I think, is about right. And then it rolls back down. That's my elo. I push it up the hill, and then it rolls back down on me, and then I get crushed underneath. You guys want to play some D&D?
So in this analogy, League is
The boulder.
No, your elo is the boulder. League is your personal hell, right? I'm just
Oh yeah, that's probably fair.
waiting
actually,
for you
yeah.
to admit that.
It's the mountain. It's the mountain. That is correct. No, I am conscious of my predicament.
Okay, just making sure.
I'm aware of my torturer.
Let's play Dungeons and Dragons.
Let's do it. You guys ready for a summary?
Yes.
Any final words? I mean, last things before we get started.
Oh my.
Nothing.
All right. So we began last week with Yasi sitting alone in a wizard's tower, with Calla, Kaydren, and Wudao adrift on an abandoned ship on the Astral Sea,
That was Calla,
and
Ratscratch,
Kaydren
and
facing
Wudao,
down.
wasn't it? Or was
What?
Kaydren?
Is that what I
Kaydren.
said? Oh, I'm
No,
so
you said
sorry.
Kaydren.
I looked at the.
Sorry, I will
looked
not
at the
correct
side
you
screen,
again.
which had the names, and I read the name. No, please do. We don't want
Ratscratch
to confuse
dies
things.
this session. No,
Yep.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah, in the recap.
I could always bring back Jorts.
Yes, Ratscratch was on the
Good old
Astrals. You never know when you might need a pair of jorts to join you.
Mm-hmm.
Ratscratch, Calla, and Wudao were on adrift on the Astral Sea. Kaydren was having a standoff with a vampire lord, or so it seemed. Through a series of events, Kaydren challenged the vampire lord to a fight via fireball to the face. And after an extended battle where things weren't adding up the way it should have done, he should have been far more effective. Realized that it was not the vampire lord, which some of his personal history was maybe revealed a little bit during that fight. But it was instead a fae who had tried to abscond with the soul siphon, the artifact that had originally ensnared the party in the first place, and had also become trapped. And it was the interplay between fae magic and the soul siphon's nature as a magical artifact that had caused such unpredictable results. Kaydren, recognizing the options, or perhaps just not realizing quite the dire circumstances of his companions, laid down, took a nap, and rescued them all at the same time by striking a bargain with the Fae. In exchange for helping her escape from the siphon, she was able to rescue both Kaydren from the siphon's pocket plane and also recover Ratscratch, Calla, and Wudao from the Astral Sea. Most of this was observed during the fight via a scrying magical mirror that Yasi had used in the wizard's tower. The four of you woke up next to the siphon. Yasi, you were standing talking to the wizards. What would you guys like to do? Oh, and you had been very disappointed to have lost the phase items that you had obtained during your adventures into the pocket plane. Your bags of holding, your other artifacts that you didn't blow up had not made their way back with you from this pocket plane.
Wait, so scrying eye now sees the group together, correct?
Correct. And you recognize the room because you've been down there before.
Adventures into the Pocket
Okay.
Plane is my new self-titled LP.
Polly Pocket Plane. But I mean, I guess us, Wizard and friends, we'll probably just continue to watch through the scrying eye to see what the group does. When all of this is happening, did we notice any difference in the artifact that was in the case?
There was a change within the field, if you remember. It's sort of the magical case around it looked like it had been disrupted. And
Okay,
there's still concern from Alarin and Thalarin, the two wizards, who are kind of discussing this interplay between. They remember they recognized that there was some sort of unstable magic or potential dire circumstance forming, and they were trying to figure out how to stop that. So they're still concerned, even though the party is back.
Did they make the connection that the reason the artifact was acting or behaving strangely was the Fae? They did make that connection.
They're the ones who kind of brought it up. There, it was kind of an aha moment for Thalarin, who had
I
been
see.
studying the artifact and then couldn't figure out why it was acting the way it was, and then he was like, "This is why." So he kind
Gotcha.
of put that
So
together.
visually, there was some difference on the artifact after the whole Fae situation happened, but the only one, Kaydren's the only one who knows that there was a Fae in the artifact, as well as me and the 2 wizards. The remaining 3 don't know
You're
that.
not correct.
And the scrying eye only lets us see; it doesn't let us talk.
Correct.
Okay, well then, yeah, I will just hang out with my whizzies and.
Please never call them that again.
What up, my whizzies?
So,
Whip out my
Whizzies and
whizzies.
me. Whizzies and me, me and whizzies. We're just gonna hang out here. Wait, did this change anything for Key? Did Key randomly show
No
up?
sign of Key. We don't know where he is right now.
Okay,
Excuse me
well
for a
then,
second.
are we still compelled to the object?
You are not.
Do I still feel
oh,
okay?
boo! I liked when you guys are hypnotized by the object.
You
Do we-
remember it,
Am
but
I
not
aware
negatively.
that I was compelled to the object?
No, it's sort of like if you have ever like really wanted something and then when you obtained it, you were sort of like, why did I want it that much in the first place? Like now that you're back and sitting on the ground, like kind of
Intense buyer's
feeling.
remorse.
Yeah, I was about to say
yeah, a
buyer's
little bit.
remorse.
You're kind of like, why did I want that so much? But
Man,
but
this
you don't
thing really isn't all
necessarily.
that.
Yeah, exactly. You're like, now that I'm closer and taking a look at it, I don't know if it was really that enticing.
Just mild disgust.
But there's no. This isn't like a charm wore off or something where you're like, oh, what the hell, man? Like you don't have any of that like feeling of like I was manipulated or I was magically controlled and I actually reject it. But I would say you're back to however you would have normally felt about the artifact.
Okay.
In this moment, I'm standing downstairs where we kind of like entered in.
Yeah.
Do I hear any noises from
Make a
like
perception check. Let's get a roll going.
Yeah, I remember when we walked into this place, that there was like a lot of like audio noises from like people in rooms and stuff.
That's right.
And then also just in case like that Fae thing is still around or there were those rat creatures, there could be a bunch of different things. That would be perception.
Okay, so just to clarify beforehand, you remember that all of the noises coming from the nearby area were people that were kind of half affected by the soul
Right.
siphon and were put into basically nightmares that they were living out and screaming about, which you
Right.
learned when you woke up Thalarin. And you remember what happened to the Fae at the end of the last episode when you came back?
You just vanished, right?
Yeah, she basically puffed into butterflies and stuff.
Right.
Before you went through the siphon and she gave you a brooch. You looked for it when you got out. You couldn't find the brooch when you got out. But
Gotcha.
she gave it to you. You popped out, you kind of patted your pockets, no sign of it.
Gotcha.
But that's the last you saw of her. So you don't
Okay.
know
Gotcha. It was
where she
before
is.
we exited the
Yeah,
site.
she kind of was
Got
like, here's the brooch, and was like, "Pff," and kind of puffed out as you were kind of falling asleep. But you have no sign of her post exiting the
Got it.
artifact.
Okay. I forgot. I thought she was there when I took the brooch out, but never mind.
No, I don't think so.
Gotcha.
I think that's right. I'd have to watch the end of that episode. But in either case, you don't have the brooch as far as you know, and you haven't seen her since that kind of falling
Okay.
asleep moment. If I have to retcon that and kind of move it around a bit, not super important whether you
Let me
saw
know
her
about it
outside or inside, but fair enough.
Yeah.
All
But
right,
it
what
was
did you get
more
on that
just
perception?
like, am I still hearing the noises
Yeah.
of people being affected by the siphon was the main.
All right, give me a perception check.
21.
21 earns you the chance to roll an Arcana check as well. But while you do that, I will tell you that you did not hear anything at all in terms of the screams and things like that. But you do hear sort of faint, like, hello? Like, what sounds to be like people shuffling around down the various hallways.
The Arcana check is 16.
Okay. There's a lot of magical effects in the area, or at least remnants of magical effects. That's really all you can get out of it. You see like occasional flits across the case. You see the artifact is kind of pulsing. And kind of everything feels a little bit off, but you can't put your finger on why.
Gotcha. Then I will.
And reminder, you're kind of spread out on the floor in a circular chamber. The artifact is in the middle on a pedestal. And then from that circular chamber, you know it leads to hallways that have individual rooms. And that this was set up like a dormitory at one point before it was converted into its process. So just a visual reminder of where you're at.
And I'm technically downstairs right now, so I guess I'll head.
Yeah, you're very low. Yep.
Yes, I will head upstairs towards the group then.
Okay. So you have a bit of a problem, if you remember. You don't have a way to go from the archives to the tower.
Mm-hmm.
There's no easy way up for you without crossing into the main area. Previously, you had been using key to transport back and forth.
Right.
You had relied on portals. You don't have that anymore. You could look for a way to go up into the main area. You haven't found or used that yet. So, you're welcome to do that, but just a reminder, you can't just walk straight back up to the tower. There is
we would
main
have to go back
floors.
to the sewer, but I figure we need to go get
So
together.
the sewer leads out of the
of the place, right?
Mm-hmm.
what is it
Yeah,
called?
'cause we
Come
were
on,
originally
Matthew.
Trying to get to Valaran.
What is the researchers' place called? The Hall of Learning. It leads out of it. You're currently in their basement archives, and the
Mhm.
Alarm's tower is within the main courtyard. So you'd have to somehow get up through all of the enemies that have previously killed Ratscratch to get up to the tower. You could try and sneak up there, or whatever method you wanted to use to do that. But just letting you know, like, those are your exit options.
Mhm.
You don't know where Yasi is right now as well.
So
Ratscratch
who
thinks I'm
last
dead, just to be clear.
had key? When was the last time we saw it? Didn't we take him with us?
Yes,
You
he
took
was-
him.
He was with us at the orb.
Yep. You had last had him when you went into the room with the siphon.
But then we
Okay. I'm going to start looking for him.
Okay. Make an investigation check for me.
Sure. Investigation. I'm really good with intelligence-based skills. Hold on. 14.
You spend some time looking around the room. You don't see any sign of him within the circular chamber.
And like where the artifact was, that's all like messed up now.
Yeah, it's not like chaotic. It's not like it exploded or anything like that. But you can noticeably remember this glass had a whole bunch of symbols on it that you were trying to sort out. That doesn't seem to be on or working. There's like kind of like occasional flits of magic, not in a way that looks like, oh, it's a spell and it's looking nice. More like there's like power and discharge that's kind of like overloading, it looks like. But it's not in a way where you would look at it and be like, oh, it's all wrecked. It just is different than how it was before.
Is that safe? That doesn't look entirely safe. I'm gonna look back at Ratscratch and Kaydren.
I'm laying on the floor,
I don't know if I'm there yet.
staring,
Oh.
and I'm just kind of like, what the shit just happened? And is what safe?
You have a weird sensation of being drunk and then not drunk, but with no like hangover in between. You just like went from being mildly intoxicated to being completely sober.
I don't like
Wait,
it.
do they see the scrying eye? Is it visible?
So the scrying eye is something that you could see, but by nature, the scrying eye is invisible.
Oh, so they can't see it.
So there is something that is possible to be seen if you happen to have the ability to see invisibility.
I see. Okay.
I do, but I don't know that I want to. So
Yeah, I mean, that would be a bit metagame.
it would be very
You
metagamey.
just randomly
Yeah.
triggered your ability to see
Wait,
invisibility.
is it
After having just talked
invisibility
about-
passively active?
Nah, it's a spell. I
Oh
need to cast.
no.
Oh no, Ryan.
Oh no, Ryan.
No.
Well, Ryan can.
Oh no.
No.
N54 Ryan's back.
No. No. No, really? I'm not dropping any
You're catching up.
frames.
You're catching up.
It's
You're catching up.
just Discord.
Slowly but surely.
I guarantee you,
Nah, you jinxed it.
it's just Discord.
And it's gone.
Like, it's
Uh-oh.
Have you thought about
entirely
downscaling
Discord.
the camera, maybe?
It's just Discord. I'm not dropping any frames. It's Discord. It's Discord.
Yeah, the stream is actually fine. It's
Totally
actually
fine.
weird.
Yeah.
Oh wait. Okay, I want to see this now.
It
Is the camera fine on Discord while it's?
Yeah.
Is the camera
looks
fine on the stream?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's messing up on Discord, but
Yeah, it's just
fine
Discord.
on Twitch.
Mm-hmm.
But
That's
aren't you Twitch
weird.
sharing your camera? Like, aren't
No.
you just sharing? How are you doing that?
Can you hear me right now via the stream?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm just capturing the Discord application, and I've got it sliced up into a bunch of different frames. So
But you're not separately capturing your own camera, right?
no, well, I mean Discord is, but no.
Okay, that's what I mean. But you're not adding an element into Streamlabs that is your camera.
I am not. No.
So why would that cause Discord to lose its mind?
I have no idea. I think it's just
is that a
Discord.
process?
No, I think
Did
it's
you
just
alt-tab?
Discord
Is that
losing
a
its mind.
process priority thing?
No, no, I don't think so. I think it's just Discord losing its mind. I think
You're
it's
back
just
and fine now.
yeah. No, I think
I mean,
it's
you're okay. It's just your video's lagging a little behind your voice, but that's no big deal.
Yeah.
oh shit.
I should say your voice is lagging behind your video, I believe.
Oh yeah, no, it's Discord is constantly jumping between like high ping, low ping.
Weird.
It's just Discord.
Well, now you're back to normal.
Yeah, now you're
Alright,
back in normal.
Cool.
I wonder. It feels like a process priority thing. I don't know.
I don't want to fuck
Discord
with it right
camera.
now because
That's
none
fair.
of you are looking choppy on my end. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Weird.
I wonder what causes that.
No, it's just Discord.
That's weird.
I was gonna try to sit as still as possible, but then I realized I got lights behind me that are like flashing, so it really didn't work.
Yeah, you can't fake that.
No, I can't.
All right. I'm
Anyway,
sorry, I got completely
where
distracted by
did we
the
go?
almost
This was
losing of you.
fucking derailed.
Yeah. Okay. So I was just
I
mentioning
have a
that.
quick question. With
Yes.
see invisibility, or if you can see invisible objects, is that
Yeah.
just like having dark vision? Like if it's you can see in the dark, it's not something you actively. It's like breathing. You do it passively. You know
No,
what I mean?
it's something I have to
It depends
cast.
on what triggers it. You could have the effect on you, or you can
Okay.
cast it to get it, or you
I
can have an
see.
item
Oh,
that
so
casts
you
it
have
on
the
you.
spell Ratscratch, but haven't cast it. It's not just like you're.
Correct.
I gotcha. Okay.
Which is
Most-
why I was like, that's metagaming to be
I'm
like,
just-
oh, there's
I'm-
something invisible. I'll
I was
cast it.
doing
You
that
know?
Baldur's Gate thing because
Mm.
like you have that eyeball that lets you see it. So I didn't know if it was just like a feature you had versus. I see. I'm good now.
That's the
No.
equivalent of an item that's casting the spell for me.
Cool.
Most see invisibility things are activatable.
Yeah.
But there are very few that just exist.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
That makes sense. I
the-
didn't think
The
about. I didn't
people that
realize
can
it was
see
a-
invisibility constantly are typically exceedingly powerful, or the item is very powerful.
That would
For
be
Yeah,
example.
pretty
usually
strong.
that's some very high level stuff. Like dragons and stuff often have see invisibility. Like,
Interesting.
yeah, I'm pretty sure that's just to like try and counter the metagaming breaking that can happen with invisibility and hide. But
Okay,
you know.
that's cool. That makes sense.
Mhm.
I was just wondering if
know.
it would alarm him, but yeah, I see what's going on here, and that would be metagaming to be like, let me suddenly see invisibility for the lulz.
If he can
Yeah.
come up with a justifiable reason, I'll give it
wouldn't-
to him. But
You would just know that somebody was scrying on you. You don't know who, what, or whatever. You just know that.
I
that's
know, and that's almost why I wanted it, because I feel like Ratscratch, if he saw something like that, would just go into some conspiracy theory that would make it more fun.
that's true. He probably would. He assumes you're
He'd be
dead,
like,
so it'd
"Oh
be
my
somebody
God,
else.
Someone's just thing.
Yasi's
and
ghost.
Yasi's
The
ghost.
I
ghost
know,
of
right?
know what it
Right,
was, yeah.
exactly. Except for my ghost would appear in the shape of like a hardtack, so he would probably be able to eliminate that possibility. But anywho, go on.
Okay. So,
Go.
Ratscratch, you were mildly intoxicated as you were on the Astral Sea. And as a reminder of how that happened, you drank a whole bunch before you went into the astral plane.
Mm-hmm.
And on the astral plane, time doesn't pass in the same way. Like, you experience time passing, but the effects of things don't happen, so you stayed pretty much constantly drunk.
Whoa.
And then when
that's
you
cheap.
popped back, yeah, very dangerous though if you think about how those effects work. When you came back, you were just suddenly sober. So there you have this weird like, I should be hungover, or I should have had that. There was no time jump.
Mhm,
Where
mhm.
am I? But I'm suddenly can think more clearly now. Like, you're kind of having like this really fast process through. And as you're like experiencing this whole thing, which is also true for you, Calla, by the way. And by the way, the AI notes for the sessions just almost always now include the drunken adventures of Calla and Ratscratch.
Yeah,
So
as
as you
they
guys are
should.
kind of coming to your senses, not hungover, like looking around, you hear Wudao go, is that safe?
What's safe?
And and Kaydren's kind of
Not
like
being hungover is
slowly
definitely
making his way out of the room at this time.
What's safe?
He's clearly pointing at the artifact in the middle, just
Oh.
as reference as well.
Yeah, I'm not looking. Okay.
As I recall, right, there wasn't like a magic field around the siphon anymore, was there? We dispelled that. That's what started this whole rodeo, right?
That is correct. Yep.
Then I will walk over and pick up the siphon.
Okay, so to do so, you'd have to lift the case off of it. So there was like that case that you did. You could try to do that. Remember that that's the case that shot lightning and did all that stuff.
Yeah.
You don't know what it's going to do now, but you're welcome to do that, just as a reminder of what you saw.
We did dispel it though, right? That's what freaked it out the first time, right?
You don't know whether you dispelled per se. You did trigger something.
Activated something.
Yeah.
As Kaydren reaches out to lift the case up, I just go, oh, and I cast Mage Hand and make the Mage Hand like try to lift it as we all just kind of stand back a little bit.
Do you wait, Kaydren, or do you go for the case anyway?
I'll let him react to that.
Do whatever.
Oh no, now you're frozen.
It's Discord.
Now everybody's frozen.
No, just
Oh
you. Like, he looks, it's so funny because it just looks like he's faking being frozen on my screen. You know?
Yeah, he's definitely frozen on mine too.
Yeah, he's got the smirk. Can you hear us, Zach?
No, I don't think so.
Goddamn Discord.
Uh-oh.
It's Discord.
You fucking Discord. How do we can't do it for a call where we switch the Discord server?
I think I can. Yeah.
Can you do it? But that's for the whole server though, right?
It is.
I mean, it doesn't
not.
matter.
We are on US South right now. Sorry, the stream is going to be weird. Now we're on US East.
That's okay.
We're switching over to US East.
We're back.
Zach is not.
Damn it. Damn it.
So, how y'all today?
It's raining already.
If we wanted to do, oh my god, it's gonna be bad. I was
It's
looking outside
literally
going,
raining
oh.
already.
So you guys are
it's
on
gonna
the edge of it, right?
So
you're just going to get all of the rain.
But so the way it's big enough that the entire, literally the whole state of Florida is under a tropical storm warning, the whole state.
Mhm.
But it's so big that the outer band is picking up strength from the east side of Florida. So it's on the
Yuck.
it's on the Gulf Coast side, but it's so big that it's picking up the ocean temperature and ocean effects all the way on the other side of the state on our side. So there's actually a little pocket kind of around us. We have like a 50-50 chance right now. Like in one scenario, we get no rain, no wind, no nothing. Like there's like a bubble that we dodge the bands. And in the other, we get 26 straight hours of the outer band just slowly rotating over us
No,
and
thank you.
drenching us. So it's like, what's it going to be?
And if we get it, we're on the east side, which is the dirty side, aka the worst weather part of the hurricane is the east side for this one. So,
Sweet. Awesome.
but maybe it'll be
Nice.
fine.
Sarah, you're right in the middle of two boxes
I know,
on
I
the
saw
stream.
that.
Kind of like scary.
I'm sure the wind is going to be nothing, but I'm really concerned about the rain because like our retaining pond out back, it was like bone dry in the summer, and then it's been raining so much that there are like wooden, it's like seawall, but it's like a pond wall, and the water today was on top of that, like already overflowing the banks, and it hasn't started yet. So I don't know what's going to happen.
Are
or
there
where the water's going to
still aquatic creatures that live in there?
go. Oh yeah, definitely.
Alligators?
Most of the alligators don't come to ponds of this size because
Okay.
it's just too small for them. They can.
Sure, they could.
We
They
have
have
definitely the
turtles.
warnings. We have turtles, we have fish, we have hawks and owls, and we saw a heron the other day. That was really cool.
Nice.
We had a giant heron at the edge of our pond, and Audie was like pressing against the screen, and then the heron wingspan attack, and Audie was just inside and under the bed. Like she was like, "No, thank you.
I'm
I don't
gonna
know
kill
what
that bird.
the fuck
Not
Actually,
that
not
bird.
that bird.
Not that
Not
bird.
that bird. That bird is just fine where it is." It was pretty great.
Was she chattering at it? It's
No,
one thing I
she was
miss about
just
cats.
literally, her full face was pressed against the screen. She was just like, "I can get it," and then was like, "I can't get it."
I'm hearing badoops, but I can't switch over because I'm streaming Discord.
Oh, that was
I
me
shared,
responding.
Oh, okay.
there's the pressure is about to drop hardcore. And Matthew, before that big drop is already low pressure, which is when headaches and migraines start. And so that big
What
drop
did I
is
say last
after
night,
that.
Raleigh? Why did I not play League after we finished Baldur's Gate? I said I have this weird headache coming out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Welcome,
You need
I'm
to
so sorry.
capitalize on this, like that one chick from Mean Girls.
Yeah, maybe
Yeah,
hundreds
weather
of years ago this
forecaster.
would have been useful, but today we have radar.
Oh, radar
Been
can be
burned at the
wrong.
stake like a
Yeah, I know.
witch hundreds of years ago.
Huh.
They wouldn't be like, "She gets the weather right." They would be like, "We need to kill her. She gets the weather right."
She causes the weather.
Yes.
She gets headaches, and it causes the weather. Yes.
It's a side effect of her witchiness.
Oh no, where is Zach?
I just messaged him. I'll let you know if I hear a
All
reply.
right.
I mean, I'm in no rush. We still have like
infected
another
his-
45 minutes left.
I'm not in any rush. I'm enjoying myself.
It's all good.
Yeah, I'll see if there's anything you want to do aside from watch, which I don't think you will.
I
You're just a
mean, if I'm
voyeur,
looking
so.
at the live, well, if we were watching it like I wouldn't want to progress past like the simultaneousness of it, you know?
Yeah.
Like
Oop, I got a text message. Troubleshooting, please continue, says Zach. We will wait, but continue.
it is kind of tricky because if people started talking, Kaydren's only like
Yeah.
the main one who can connect the dots about saying, "Oh, actually, there was this Fae thing."
Do
'Cause
I
I know about it and Kaydren knows about it. But
do I hear anything? Talking, mumbling.
Oh, go ahead and make a perception check as you kind of come in.
Wait, can I do one too?
Yes, though, as is tradition, the
That's
rule of
fair. I
everybody
don't- I
doing
won't.
perception
Yes,
checks
Sorry.
kind of lowers the effect for everybody.
I'm
Uh,
just too concerned about figuring out why I'm not hungover to be paying attention to anything else.
18.
Okay, you don't necessarily pick up on the magical fluxes in the room. You do pick up on the fact that you hear like people kind of floating down, like you hear this kind of voices, like not like cries of alarm, but more like confusion. Like you
Like-
know when you walk into a room and you're like, "Hello? Anyone?
Like
Hello?" You hear that in the distance kind of all around you.
like how far away?
There's multiple varying lengths away.
Okay. All in different directions, or all coming from one direction?
all in different directions. Both the stairs to the second floor of the archives, which you are in the room that has the staircase, and down the hallways that you know lead to the different rooms.
Any voices I recognize? Now, keep in mind, I would recognize voices.
Ooh. Okay, so you don't recognize
Well,
the
I don't
people who
recognize the
they're
voices.
attached
Yeah, right,
to,
right. But I
but
would
you recognize
recognize
the
in
tone
the fact that
because
I
of
could
your
mimic. Yeah,
space. Yes. Yeah, so you recognize the voices as the same same entity or entities that you had previously heard screaming and experiencing nightmares.
connecting the dots, they're no longer experiencing nightmares.
That may be what's happening.
Okay. I'm going
And
to.
that's a safe conclusion for both you and your character to draw here.
Yeah. I'm going to ignore then the siphon action in preventing Kaydren from removing the cover off of it.
We'll let the hand be there if he
The hand is
decides
there.
that he wants to do it. Yeah, but we'll wait.
But I'm going to say, hey, someone come with me. I want to check this out. Calla, let's go.
What are we doing?
We're going to
Team
go.
Chaos, go.
Team Chaos. Team Chaos is going to go.
You guys need,
What
y'all
could
need
go
an adult.
wrong?
Y'all need a supervisor or
I say yes, and then I look up and I'm like,
parent.
wait, are we staying in this reality or like where? How
God,
far
I
are
hope
we
so.
going?
I hope so.
What is real anymore?
What is you guys are in
Wait,
space?
can we actually go back to the place
Titanic.
that I didn't get hungover? That was fun. We
Mhm,
should do that.
mhm.
Okay.
We're gonna start heading towards the one of the confused voices. Now, if I'm able to draw the conclusion that it used to be the blah, 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 I'm
Yes.
gonna head towards one that I know like exists. So I'm not just wandering aimlessly. I'm heading
Okay.
towards one that I had seen previously. Like
You pretty much can't go wrong here. So there are rooms that are fairly close and louder voices, so you can certainly follow your way back to
Mhm.
one of those voices. It doesn't take you very long. It's no more than 30 feet down the first hallway. In fact, it's actually, if I think about it, probably a little bit closer for that kind of dormitory style setup. And remember that Wudao recognized this as pretty much an identical pattern to his dormitories in his monastery. So
Yeah.
think about, these are not big rooms. These are monastic, closely packed sleeping quarters that had been repurposed. And so it doesn't take you very long to get to one of these doors, and you kind of push on it. It's not locked. None of them have been locked, which is, odd for a prison, but maybe not so for the case where your prisoners are in
they
a
were
mental
under
prison
some
as
sort
well.
of yeah.
And so you push open the door and you find kind of a middle-aged Dwagar, which I know is not Duragar, Dwagar, thank you, Baldur's Gate. A middle-aged Dwagar woman looking pretty confused, wearing what appears to be some sort of kind of nondescript robes. You recognize the robes and clothing as similar to the clothing that you found on the massive pile of bodies near the sewer entrance.
I'm gonna confuse her even more. A giant 6 foot tall talking multicolored bird. Hi.
Is that what you do? You pop in and say
Yeah,
hi?
you.
He's startled, but is already in such a state of confusion that this almost makes sense to her. Like there's just like this moment of like,
Of course.
oh, hello, and is like trying to judge you a little bit. She's not standoffish, but she's very confused.
I stroll in and I look at her and I look at the bird and I'm like, it's okay. You kind of get used to him.
You kind of get used to me.
Kinda.
Something happened, didn't it?
Sir, ma'am,
Sir.
it,
Sure.
sir,
Yeah.
are you telling me or asking me?
Both.
Yes.
Okay, I have no reason to not believe you, strange bird.
You were trapped. Up here.
Yeah, you see like a moment of like a almost 1,000-yard stare that kind of comes and goes kind of briefly across her face. She doesn't verbalize anything, but she nods, partially resigned, very much broken, and not wanting to think about it too much. But
You
you can tell very
are
much she knows what you're talking about.
you are free.
She doesn't seem overjoyed or elated by that news. She looks around her surroundings at who she's in the room with, and she's not disagreeing with you, but she's also not agreeing with you.
I open the door and gesture for her to step out.
She does not necessarily follow what you're doing. She's kind of giving herself as much distance from you as she can. And Calla, did you step into the room? You went with, right?
I did, yeah.
Are you visible? Are you around the corner? Where are you relative to the...
I'm visible, yeah.
And you're a halfling?
Yes.
So she's at least seen halflings, or at least creatures that look like halfling, and you're more her size. So she's at least knows how to deal with you, but is like clearly looks like afraid and doesn't want to go towards Ratscratch
The
right
bird.
now.
All right. Do I pick up on this?
Normally I would say to make an insight here, but there's no.
I can be
this is
socially
open.
dense. That's totally fine.
She's very open about
Okay.
it. She's not trying to hide anything. She doesn't seem to be like. She's just clearly processing right now.
I step back a good 10 feet.
Out into the hallway?
Out of the hallway, arms kind of out, not holding anything.
Good bird.
So you do that, and remembering, of course, that when you do that, you kind of...
There's just a giant
your feathers
wingspan,
out.
yeah.
Yes.
Bird,
So
arms
this
down.
color-
Arms down,
this
arms down, arms down,
multicolored
arms down.
pattern, there's a lot of jingling. You're like, wow. Just like, and Calla kind
There's
of
like
waves
bells
at you,
and shit.
You quickly put your arms down. Altogether, it's enough of a confusing scene that she seems a little bit reassured by what's happening and kind of pops her head into the hallway and looks up and down. No sign in her face or in her actions of recognition of where she's at all.
Who are you?
The name's Misha.
Misha. I'm Ratscratch.
What's up? I'm Calla.
So
Hi, Calla. Hi.
You can call him
Ratscratch?
Bird. It's fine. Stupid bird, if you're in the mood. He responds.
Did you do this to me?
no.
Were you also trapped?
Yes.
How did you
Briefly.
get out?
Broke the spell. I'm guessing here.
Yeah, I'm aware
just
that you're
staring
guessing.
at you I thought we got drunk.
I can make a
fine.
persuasion check or anything if you'd like. It just
Yeah, I mean, I don't think anybody here is trying to, this is just a conversation of the blind leading the blind,
Yeah.
and she's too confused to really distrust you, but she's also not trusting you.
should
so
we find others like you? There are
there
more.
are others like me?
Yes. Let's go. Follow me.
Is it safe? She asked you, Calla.
It's safer than being down here alone.
We'll make sure it's safe.
Don't promise things.
Where are
Bird.
my things?
I know where the storeroom is, right?
You do.
I'll take you.
There's an important detail that you know about the storeroom.
The storeroom's
they
gonna be
reg-
empty.
They regularly empty it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That means they could go
Don't know
to
where
it
it
while
is.
you
Sarah.
guys are there.
Did we put a body in there too?
What?
Did we?
Did we put
we
bodies in
might have.
there?
I don't think you've stored any bodies in that particular room.
Okay. Are they naked?
Oh, wait a minute.
There were
Wait
a
a
lot
minute.
of bodies on the way in that we saw in like.
Yeah,
hide
I
them
don't
in
think
On the
the
way in,
storage?
there was a lot of bodies out there, but
No, I don't think you fought anybody on the way in. In
Okay.
fact, you didn't see any guards, was the kind
Okay,
of
yeah.
distinguishing factor of this prison. You were aware that they were passing through, but you didn't see any directly.
There is a storeroom, but no guarantee that your things are there. I can take you there.
Well, maybe I can find some clothes.
Yeah,
Let's go.
let's go.
You said that like such a dick. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Can't find some clothes.
I walk ahead, allowing Calla to like walk with her and giving them plenty of space. I think I'm picking up on the I'm a scary bird to her.
I remind you every once in a while because I'm concerned that you've forgotten. I'm like, little more space, please.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Every now and again you ruffle your feathers and she jumps back.
Yeah.
So
Artifact,
as you're
okay.
kind of, this is not a huge.
Like I'm really tempted to take out the loot and just start playing as I walk.
As you remember, this place is not huge. Just responding to Zach.
I thought you were plotting our demise.
They have fallen into my trap.
Okay, so yeah, my traps are so much more clever than this, and you guys are way, way, way too off script for me to ever trigger them.
Always off script.
Gotta keep them guessing.
So as you're walking down this hallway, and again, it's not a huge place. You can get through. It's, you know, monastery or size. There's a couple of hallways. You know, you could imagine maybe 60 total people would have the rooms here. So
Like a small Midwestern town hotel.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But it's 2 floors, and it's mostly a square with a cross
Yeah,
section
okay.
in the middle, and then the middle of that's the room. And you know you've got to go to the 2nd floor, and you've got to pass by a couple of doors. And as you're walking down the hallway at kind of a leisurely, non-threatening pace,
Mm-hmm.
You're starting to hear and see kind of that same tentative poking.
Could
Oh.
it be?
Could it be?
Oh, it's I just sent you a message. I can join on my phone.
Oh yeah, so it is.
Party
oh
on.
yeah, okay.
All right.
All right.
The names are all wrong because you're not video, but that is okay.
I'm
That's
no
okay.
longer in
Give me a
2
second, I'll
places
make
at
it a
once.
video.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
No, see, right
Okay.
now we've got Ratscratch
Hey,
and Cat Scratch.
video!
Oh, I had a good joke, and
Scratch.
now it's been missed. Yeah, because
What's
Zach's
happening, Cat
icon is a
Scratch?
cat. Yeah,
Yeah,
his
yeah.
icon is a cat.
Cat scratch.
Cat scratch.
Hey, I'm glad you're here. We
Hey.
can continue. Okay, so
We'll make it work.
we're gonna time out the fact. So the last thing, as you guys are kind of walking towards the storeroom, Zach, they went into, if you didn't hear, they went into one of the Ratscratch and Calla made the same kind of listen around that you did and heard the voices, except Ratscratch, using his kind of kinku nature, recognized that those were the same entities that had previously been experiencing the nightmares and kind of deduced, oh, the people kind of wandering around lost, calling out, hello, is anybody there, were the people that were previously been asleep and in nightmares. And so kind of walked off to see if he could help them. He left the mage hand there ready to open the case. So the question I had posed to you was, oh, and they had gone in and kind of talked to one of the ladies. So this is, we're kind of going back a few minutes in time to see how you responded there, but catching you up. They talked to a little middle-aged Dwagar woman who was very, very confused, and they basically are leading her to the storeroom and kind of bumping into other people, slowly poking their heads out of rooms, trying to figure out what's happening.
We're going to form a
Everybody's
big
very
conga line
confused.
with everyone we find.
So to you, you had just said, "Hey, I'm gonna reach in and grab the siphon," and
Yep.
Ratscratch was like, "Here's Mage Hand." And the question I had posed to you right before you disconnected was, do you want to let the Mage Hand try and open the case, or do you want to just gun it and open the case? It's up to you.
I was gonna let Mage Hand do it, and then I'll pick it up.
Okay, so Mage Hand will say wasn't successful. Remember,
Okay.
it's got a pretty low threshold for the amount of weight it can actually move around. And
Oh yeah. Okay.
we don't get the impression that it was restricted. We didn't see any sort of magical trap. There was no discharge of magic when it interacted, but it just wasn't able to shift the case. So that's what you saw
Okay.
happen and what Ratscratch relayed to you before he kind of wandered down the hall. So
Okay.
if you want to go ahead and make a try now, you can do so.
Before Mage Hand
I would
dissipates, it
certainly
flips
like
off
to
the
try.
case.
It's like floating away.
Spinning in slow circles. Did you see it? I don't know which way is your face. All right, so talk me through how you want to do this. There's a pedestal, glass square case on top. You can see kind of the remnants of some of the symbols that you had previously interacted with. Remember, there was a puzzle like earth and stone and mountain and river, and it was kind of like Underdark themed pictograph puzzle that you had previously.
Right. Right, but
So-
as I recall, we did do
You
the
you
puzzles.
did the whole puzzle. It doesn't appear to be active anymore. I'm just
Right.
describing the case as you're standing in front of it. You know,
Yeah.
there are lots of options on how you want to get through what appears to be a glass case. I'm letting you decide what those options, might want to be.
I was just gonna pick it up and then.
Kind of a two-hand lift sort of
Yeah.
circumstance.
Sure.
Okay. It's heavier than you expected, so you can tell right away this is not glass.
If he's struggling with it, I will help him because I'm standing there. And
But he is not struggling with it, thankfully. So
Okay.
you give him that kind of eye that you give your friend when he picks up something heavy. Like, is he gonna make a noise and do this, or does he got it? And Kaydren kind of picks up that
Yeah.
you're
I
looking
cross
and
my arms and I'm
flexes
watching.
a little.
Like,
yeah.
clearly.
What is this made out of? Lead crystal? What the hell?
Surprisingly, not that far off is actually what it's made out of. So, you lift it up easily enough. There's nothing that seems to happen. The only thing as you lift the case off the pedestal and the siphon is exposed to the air is you can now hear kind of a crackling sound or a buzzing sound.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Like dangerous? Oh, it's just humming. Is basically what it's doing.
Yeah, if you want to decide whether it's dangerous or not, I'll let you roll an intelligence check.
It's like
Sure.
a staticky sound. It sounds like a
Yeah,
staticky.
like a hissing, staticky, high voltage type sound.
Wonderful. Well, that would explain why I was arcing so badly. I can't look at my character sheet anymore because D&D Beyond doesn't exist for me currently.
Let's give you the disconnect bonus of +5. So whatever you roll, +5.
Let's see.
No, Raleigh,
let's
I heard
see.
you get offended. And CRISPR cut it off. Don't you be offended that we are taking care of our friends when they disconnect on the internet.
No,
I'm
it's okay.
disconnecting. I'm disconnecting. I'm just kidding. Sorry. Go ahead.
It would only be a 10 anyway. So
A 10.
As I
Okay.
recall, my intelligence is 0, so I wouldn't have a bonus. Thus, I rolled a 10, so it'll just be 10.
Okay. Between 10 and 15 isn't too big of a deal anyway. There's nothing about it that reassures you, but there's also nothing about it that strikes you like, whoa, shit, this is super dangerous. So you're just like,
Is it
I don't know
sitting?
what this is.
Floating? Is it floating or is it just sitting?
It's sort of on its side up there.
So it is resting on the pedestal, is what you're saying.
Yeah. Yes, it is. And remember that this looks sort of like a cornucopia, like the open horn thing.
Right.
That's kind of what it looks like, and it's a silvery looking object to give you a visual.
Hey Wudao, come here and pick up this this crystal glass box thingy for me and flip it upside down.
No, just grab it.
Okay. Wait,
So
are you grabbing?
He's gonna pick it up and hold it like a basket, and then is the pedestal like solid or is it movable?
Very solid. Imagine like a Roman plinth, like marble. It's like a display case.
Hey, Wudao, here, I'm gonna grab your
Poke it with a stick.
real quick, and I'm gonna grab his wood bow staff, and I'm gonna use the wood bow staff to slide the siphon into the leaded glass crystal.
Oh, I like it. Wudao, do you any objections to that plan?
Whatever you want. Yeah,
So
fine.
I'm just gonna say like.
I see what you're doing.
So it's,
I see what you're doing.
horizontally, and I'm just gonna hockey stick it right in, not very hard, but like.
What material
baseball
is your
tee that's
staff
not
made
right.
out of, Wudao?
Wood. It's wood.
Wood. Okay, so you
plain shaft of wood.
Are you gonna like whap it, or are you gonna kind of do like the easy,
I'm gonna
slowly push?
baseball hit. No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm just gonna slide it into the goal.
Okay, so you put the staff next to it and you push it against the siphon. That nothing happens too much, but you see like a faint line of smoke come out from the point of contact. But you manage to push it off the pedestal into the lead case. There's a bit of a blue as it hits the bottom of the case, but nothing aside from that.
Good call. Good call with poking it with a stick.
That was clever. I like that. You have a small scorch mark on the point of contact on your bow staff now.
Well,
Yeah,
if I
this
need to
has
get you a
happened
new
before.
bow staff, Wudao will get you a new bow staff. So
It's hit much worse things than that.
Yeah,
don't
to be
worry.
clear, it's also
True.
covered in blood. There's a few indents here and there, but now there's a slight dark mark in the middle of
There's
those stains.
some pock marks from the acid that we've encountered.
I think
you
it's
might have
taken.
to. You might have to channel your chi through your bow staff to see if the wood's been damaged and can't take any more blows.
I've been using
I'll
my,
hand you your bow staff back.
Let me show you my staff right here.
I've been using these more these days.
Side note: I'm playing a monk in this playthrough of Baldur's Gate. They're fucking broken.
Mm-hmm.
They're really
It's
good
like
in combat.
It's like playing 6 fucking characters. You're like, I'm just still attacking,
Well,
attacking,
They do
more
They
attacks.
do one thing very well.
They punch
punch.
super well. All right, so well done. You just want to carry that from now on, or what do you want to do with that case? It's not super like convenient to carry. There's no handholds or anything, but it's not hard either. Like it's like sort of an open moving cardboard box, like if you had one of the big like moving boxes, and the top's open. So it's like sort of awkward to hang on to, and it's a little bit heavy, but it's not unwieldy. It just wouldn't want to be the sort of thing that you carried around and like that for a long time.
I mean, I'm sure we could carry it together if we had to.
Yeah, you could.
No.
I mean, couldn't we just go to the storeroom and find a large rucksack and we could just throw it in there?
It singes a hole right through the rucksack.
Well, it's in the glass.
Oh yeah,
in the
that's
glass
true. That's
container.
true. That's true. That's true.
So you put the glass container down inside
A box
the
inside of a
backpack, and then you
box.
just backpack it
Inside of a
around.
bag. Inside of a box.
You
Yeah.
could
Correct.
try that. You might have to try and get a new backpack that was bigger to try and do that. It's fairly large, probably like 1.5 feet. So most backpacks wouldn't
Okay.
necessarily open wide enough to slide in the box evenly without modification. I'd let you try if you wanted to try and modify it to slip it in up top like that.
I can handle it.
Okay. I was just gonna say either that or we can get like some sort of like bag or whatever, and then you can just sling it over your shoulder and just carry it.
Yeah.
Then you're not carrying the leaded glass crystal thing around either, like out
Yeah.
in the open.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's true.
Well, let's go back to
We
the
could
storeroom real quick.
just
since
cover
that's
it
where
up
the
with
rest of the
something at
group
the very
is,
least.
and let's
Bindle
take a
it.
look around.
Do it like a hobo bindle and
Yeah, exactly.
So, okay, all right. I see what you're doing there. What could
take my
possibly go
stand
on?
and
Things I didn't anticipate. Number 999,000.
I mean, granted,
got any leather thongs we could perhaps
You-
wrap in?
Could you?
I'm
You
just,
got a
I'm just
shield? You
saying,
could
like,
sled it.
It's better for us to disguise it if we do have to get in a fight or something like that. Then they don't know we have this thing with us that they really, really like. So, you know,
I mean, given
Yeah.
the
if we can hide
we
it,
could
the
just go
better.
catch.
I mean, then you could just swing it at him and break it open, and we'll deal with the fallout from that. But I highly suggest we hide it instead of,
I see what
you
you're.
know, be walking
Okay.
around with it in the open.
So Yasi, cut to you
Yes.
for a second. What just happened in the room very much gets the attention of the two wizards, but Valorin especially. They see
What-
through the scrying mirror, they see the artifact get essentially picked up by Kaydren and Wudao.
Right.
And Valorin gets really excited. Oh, I need to get down there. I need to see it. I can't believe they managed to move it and pick it up. What happened to its defenses? This is wonderful news. I can't wait to examine it up close.
It's like, well, wasn't it that Fae thing? And that's maybe why it doesn't have any of those same defenses anymore?
Alarin is the only one who kind of even hears you to respond. Thalarin is sort of
He's
having
in
a
his own
conversation with
trance.
himself at this point. He's already
Yeah.
got like a notebook out. He's already talking about what he wants to do with it. Like this guy is a wizard who is focused on artifacts, and this is the thing that he was been obsessed about. So the fact that it's potentially within his grasp again, is something that he's very hyper focused on.
Right.
Alarin is a lot more cautious. He answers he looks up at you and he goes, perhaps, but I'm more concerned by the instability. It doesn't appear to have resolved itself, and I'm concerned about what might happen with that artifact now. And if it's even the source of that instability now, there has to be something we can do to try and contain it. And he's like sort of trying to get Alarin's or Dalaran's attention to be like, this is a bigger problem still. We need to figure out what to do, but Dalaran kind of isn't really listening right now.
Far are we from? Like, I don't think we're like right next to the entrance, right? It's like we.
You're in the same building, but you actually have never traveled on foot between the two spaces.
How did the group get there? They walked there, or
you guys took Key down to that section? Yeah.
did Key teleport them down? I can't remember that detail.
Yes.
That is correct. Yeah.
Oh, okay. And as far as we can see, and we're kind of following them, they haven't run into any confrontation.
No.
I'm sorry. I'm trying to say we stayed back. Why?
Why did you stay back? You wanted to read the stuff in the Wizard's
You were
Tower.
reading books.
Yeah.
What
You were
was
just
I
really
trying?
excited.
Oh, because we were trying to figure out stuff about the artifact.
You got it. You had gone into the
Yes.
sewers and found that, and then Key had met you there and taken you up to
I
the tower.
remember now because I was thinking that because of his interest and the
Yeah.
fact that he was down there was some existing information we could figure out about how it got there and if
Yeah.
there were some like people conspiring or whatever. But now that we have it, I guess I'm thinking like the reason to stay back and do research is not so critical. And Thalarin obviously wants to go be
Yeah, don't forget
near
the
it.
whole reason you went back into this area at all was to rescue Ratscratch. That's how you bumped into the site
But
in
now
the
he's
first
like,
place.
right, and now it's just turned into we've done
Right? Like,
both.
the
maybe.
only reason you got what you came for, you successfully ran a heist, you stole what you needed from this place, but Ratscratch got, and you went back to the equivalent of the prison to get him back, and that's what brought you into this. So
I'm gonna.
you've only done the main floor walk to the tower and the infiltration to
Okay.
the prison to get Ratscratch, but the two are in the same building, but you've
Yeah.
never walked between the two.
Okay, so I'm gonna ask the wizard Rose Mike. Listen, can either of you dimension door us into because you can use dimension door somewhere you can see, right? Like, would that work if you have scrying eye? Like, does that count?
Yo, Wizzies, could you zip me there?
Wizzies,
So-
can you whiz us
My
over?
whizzing.
So you can see Alarn like he almost gets like a professorial look, like he's about to explain why that plan doesn't work. And then he like knows that he's talked to you before and he's like, yeah, I can do that.
Well, so I'm just gonna say, listen, here's what I'm seeing right now. My friends may be in trouble.
we're
We're,
fine.
well, I always think y'all are in trouble because y'all are trouble. I don't trust you guys, but I'll say so. They may be in trouble.
And she doesn't see you right now. She only sees the scrying eye was on Kaydren, so
Mhm.
she's watching
Yeah.
Kaydren.
So I'm just gonna say, listen, they could be in trouble. B, it looks like Dalaran wants to be closer to this artifact, and C, it seems like you're concerned that improper physical handling of the artifact could be problematic. It may be that we're at a point where it would be worthwhile to just join them and make sure that we have a successful evacuation from this situation. So how can we get down there quickly?
So, interrupting your conversation, Thalaran goes,
Rude.
oh, you're right. We need to get down there. And he
Oh,
waves his hand
okay.
and casts a spell. You, Alarin, and Thalaran appear in the chamber.
Right next to
Next
Wudao
to
and
Wudao and
Kaydren.
Kaydren.
Hey,
Ugh.
y'all miss
Smash.
us?
No, just kidding.
Y'all miss us? Do I still think we had a dream?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know what you think, but you're definitely
All right.
confused about what happened.
All right, so I portal in. I'm like, hey, you miss me? And then I hand Wudao and Kaydren some hardtack because I feel like they haven't had anything good to eat in a
Wudao
while.
sort of
I
has this
stand there,
box.
like staring at her as she's trying to hand me
Wait,
stuff.
since Wudao just stares and doesn't respond, I
He's
actually
got this
took the
open
hardtack.
box.
Oh, okay, good point. So his hands are full. So I actually take the hardtack and just put it into his mouth.
Mm.
I'm like, I got you.
I
And
accept.
I offer Kaydren the hardtack by hand because
Like
Tapping into his stoic nature as a monk.
like
puts all
someone
objectives to the
shoving
side.
a whole sleeve of saltine crackers into your mouth.
it's like no. I just to liken it to add some flavor. It's like giving someone a piece of cake on their birthday. That's how I did it. I was
So
just like
very,
open up
very
A piece of
nicely-
cake on their birthday from their
Very
last
Matthew,
birthday.
on her next birthday in the morning for breakfast,
It's all
Hardtack
done
right in the mouth.
right in the mouth.
That's coming up soon. That's coming up soon. That's a great idea.
No, and then I like go to do the same thing to Kaydren, but I immediately see his face and I just put it in his hand, and I'm like, so
So Wudao, she
Yes.
daintily takes a whole hardtack and puts it in your mouth, so there's like one bite worth in your mouth. What are you gonna do?
eat it. What is this? What a
I mean,
silly
it's there,
question.
whatever. It's
He could take a bite of it, but it's
Yeah.
a biscuit, and if he takes a bite without using his hands, it's going to drop.
No, I made it like a bite-sized piece,
I see. I see.
like a
Okay.
graham cracker.
That's important. That's important. Okay.
You're giving him crumbs.
Like,
You guys see this
poke it in to his
half
mouth.
orc monk just making weird noises, swallowing down the driest piece of hardtack he's ever consumed in his whole life.
How old at this point? I mean, it's hardtack, but
It's
I mean,
hardtack. Age is of no matter to it.
And then, like I said, I hand some to Kaydren, and I'm like, guys, we're here to help. Starting with this hardtack,
we're here to help.
and I'll
Kaydren,
tell
I'm pretty
the
sure you have
wizards
a stash of hardtack that you've slowly just added to your pack as you've been handed random ones. So you have another piece of hardtack now.
Yasi, I just feel that this is not typical for Yasi because she normally hoards the hardtack for herself.
No,
She normally does
no,
not give
for-
it to others. So
I always offer
that actually
hardtack as
surprises me.
a showing of diplomacy.
That's
This
true.
is
You don't usually offer it to your party members.
This is
so
an
she
imposter,
has a good
Yasi.
point
This
there.
is correct. I
An-
have never
an
actually
imposty.
received a
Oh.
hardtack
This is an
from
imposty.
Yasi
This is
before.
Thank
impo-
God,
Actually
thank God
look
Ratscratch
at
God
isn't
damn it,
here.
Ryan.
and say, "Are you sure?" Because you typically hoard this stuff.
I'll be like, you guys deserve it this time, for once. And then I'll tell Kaydren, he probably already knows, but I'm like, no, you guys deserve it this time. The wizards told me that little face situation you had, because we couldn't hear the dialogue really.
You could.
You can.
Oh, we
Yeah,
could.
you can hear everything.
And that means Kaydren knows. Does Wudao know?
No.
No.
You know everything. They
Okay.
don't know that you know anything.
Yeah, so when Kaydren says that, I'll be like, oh, no, you guys deserve it this time because Kaydren took on this giant vampire thing and single-handedly removed the Fae thing that was in this land artifact thing that was causing all this stuff.
Did somebody break
A
her
job
again,
well done.
or-
I really want to do a recaps by Yasi every week to start the session.
I mean, I don't know what these magical technical terms are. It's just that there is a Fae thing in the thing, and after it was removed from the thing, it's normal now. And now we need to
There's
cap,
a whole lot of chaos coming out of Yasi's mouth, Kaydren. But enough of it is true, and enough of it in the lens of how you know her, that you realize she's at least somehow been able to see, hear, or at least was made aware of what you just went through. So you're enough where you're like, I follow this story in the way that I expect Yasi to tell me a story.
I'll tell them. And now we're here because, God, I'm forgetting. What is this? It's
Dalaran.
Thalarin and Alarin. And I'm like, and now we're here because Alarin's concerned that we may like explode this thing if we handle it improperly. So,
Oh,
Alarin,
it's a
what do
bomb?
we need to do? Maybe.
It's real calmly. Oh, it's a bomb?
I don't know. Alarin.
Two
tell
seconds
him.
after he just baseball batted it off a tee.
Yeah. I was gonna pool shoot it for a moment there, where I was like, just knock that sucker right into the cube. But
No, I'm gonna be like, it may be Alarin. Tell him what's up. Help. What do we need to do next? Oh, and I'm like, where the f are Ratscratch and Calla?
While you're having that conversation, Thalaran walks up to you, Wudao. Sir, if you could put the box down, I need to remove the artifact.
Yeah, okay. Here you go.
Thalaran starts to lean down and bend into the crystal case to remove the artifact. And just before his hands touch it, he kind of chuckles to himself and he's like, oh yeah, right. And he kind of wraps the sleeve of his robe around his hands and grabs it with the sleeve. Surprisingly, that seems to work. There is no discharge as he picks it up. And
You
he's
just
holding it
needed
in
a
his hand.
love glove.
Love glove.
A love glove.
What is this? What does that mean?
I'm not here.
By the way, there's still a middle
it, cut
finger.
it, cut it,
There's
cut it.
there's still a mage
What there
hand
is.
finger.
There's still just a middle finger floating around.
The equivalent of Ratscratch. He wants to make sure that you know that he was here. Excellent, excellent. Okay, so he picks it up and he starts to talk to himself about it. As you're kind of chatting with Alarin, you see out of the corner of his eye that he's really paying attention to Thalarin. Like he seems to be like kind of defensively postured towards Thalarin. He seems concerned. Ratscratch and Calla, you guys are kind of wandering down the hall at this point. We're kind of caught up to you. There are various people that are popping their heads out. If you wanted to try and bring them along, you could.
Yeah, to each and every one of them. Hi there.
Can I do an insight check on Alarin and then
yeah.
Thalarin too?
Let's just do a combined insight check. You'll just kind of read the room a bit.
I would like to do that.
You have +3 or +4, if I remember correctly.
I believe it's 4. It would be a 15 plus 4, so 19.
Okay, Thalarin is the easier to read of the two because you've recognized obsession before. This is a guy obsessed with the artifact. He's so obsessed that he almost doesn't even recognize where or who is around him. Alarin seems genuinely concerned. He reminds you of people you've seen on a battlefield before the battle begins, or people who know that there's an ambush about to happen. He knows that there's a danger, but he doesn't know exactly where it's coming from.
Mm-hmm.
So he has that kind of heightened, like, I'll be ready for anything look. But his attention is mostly towards the artifact and Thalarin.
Well, if that's the case, I'm going to prep a spell.
Okay.
So I can release that if something starts going real wrong. I'm going to prep a hold person spell.
Okay. I won't say that you readied it because that'll be a cast of it, but
yes,
if something breaks down, I'll assume that's your action right away. Okay. And hold person on Alarin or Thalarin?
Thalarin. It seems
okay.
like he's pretty crazy about this shit.
That is a safe call to make. Ratscratch, Calla, you guys are collecting people. Not everybody wants to join you, but most of them seem to lack any other type of direction, so they kind of join the herd. And the bigger your crowd gets, the more you're able to pull people along. By the time you make it to the storeroom, there's about 12 with you.
I like unintentionally and absent-mindedly start a little conga song with some bells and
the drum or the lute.
I was gonna say your little war drum.
The drum.
Are you gonna war drum everybody into a frenzy?
The drum seems to like actually invigorate people who are kind of shuffling.
Yeah.
They're not quite marching in step, but they're not that far off from it either.
Right. It's a jaunty beat. Like it's not a war beat. It's not a boom. It's just a light little. Yeah, it's jaunty.
You're
beat.
doing a little
conga.
Caribbean drum solo.
Little Caribbean conga. Yeah.
Everybody's feeling a little tiny bit better by the time they get to they follow the Pied Piper of birddom into the storeroom. The storeroom is not containing the same items that you saw the last time you were here, but there are some sets of clothing and items on the shelves. It looks like a bad general shop, for lack of a better word. They're not packed up or in boxes, but they're kind of thrown into like clothes over here, weapons over here, valuables as it were over here. There's not a huge organization, but it's not just a big pile of stuff either. Kind of rudimentary organization.
As they're all getting dressed and picking out items and everything like that.
Immediate grumbles from just about everybody of like, this isn't my clothes, but this
Oh,
would
of
be
course,
better.
of course.
There's not scuffling, but there's like some like testy words
Yeah,
about like who gets what sort of thing. They're kind of like sorting through and putting it on. So there's a whole mini chaos scene happening around you. Nobody seems like fight ready or anything like that. But...
Sure. So I'm just gonna like pipe up. Hey, just out of curiosity, the current year is blah 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 blah.
Okay. For the most part, the people who respond are sort of like, yeah.
Okay, cool.
It
All
is.
right, party on.
There's 2 or 3 that you can tell seem quite alarmed by that news.
Okay.
Not alarmed like, oh my god, it's been 200 years, but alarmed like, it was not that year what I thought.
Yeah. It's been a handful of months.
Make an intelligence check.
Sure can.
Or a medicine check.
I rolled a 17, so 16 on the intelligence check.
You can take medicine if that's a plus.
So 18.
Okay. You can tell by the look of the people in the room that they are not healthy.
Mm-hmm.
They all exhibit signs of slow deterioration. So, and you have seen the piles and piles of body in the sewers on the way in.
Mm-hmm.
So, why they may not have been aware of the time lost, they also were slowly deteriorating. So, it's not like anybody has been trapped here for very long. So, it doesn't give you a sense of how long this has been happening. You just know that these prisoners are relatively recent.
Okay. That sounds good. I'm just making sure. Carry on.
There's a definite look of what's next coming from some of the prisoners, and they all start to turn to the 2 of you as their de facto leaders.
Oh, we're gonna go meet up with the rest of our group, and then we're gonna get out of here. We're gonna go back to the Dweller's Den.
Wings down, Bird. You're being scary again. Wings down.
As Ratscratch is gesticulating
Real
all
talk.
around, feathers
Just
flying out, jingle
claws
jangle.
and shit.
Real talk, I feel like this is the origin story of Ratscratch's new cult. Like, this is how he starts his cult
That's your
following, and
signal
like,
to
he's
starting
our
a cult.
savior. And then there's like,
Meanwhile, Calla is acting as like the sign language interpreter behind Ratscratch, like, he means go over here.
Mhm.
Everything is safe.
It's okay to go this way.
Welcome, my brothers, to the Church of Ka.
Come.
Everybody take a sip of
Yeah.
this and don't worry about
You
it.
already have groupies. You don't need a cult.
no, it's
Mm.
and, like,
Why not?
instead of amen, they're like, and then they just like all disseminate to their, respective.
Mm-hmm.
Have you,
You know
heard
the-
of my magical elixir?
Have you heard?
Kool-Aid?
Have you heard the word? The bird. The bird
Yeah,
is
have
the
you
word.
heard
Bird is
the
the
word?
It's the word.
And instead of like offerings, like money, people would just be like, here's a button, here's a coil
lint.
of metal I found, here's some lint, and they just bring these like shindigs, and he's like, yes,
I'm just
Have
imagining
you had
like
the
a
Red Scratch
gathering.
experience?
I
Not
just
you have
many.
to
imagine
pay for it.
everybody imitating bird wings down here, going, "Bird is the word.
Bird is the word.
The bird
Have
is
you
the
heard-
word.
Big
The
bird.
bird is the word. The bird is the word.
Well, damn it! Now I have to make this happen.
No, I would love for Ratscratch to
Like
have
that
like
weird
started
cult
this
in the
cult,
Yakuza
and
games.
they all went from this like nightmare to like following him from trauma, like trauma bonding about
yeah.
Ratscratch, and I don't know. They could be like your what is it, your familiars or something.
Yes,
Where
they
you're
are.
like,
They're just I'm known throughout the land,
you
and they can help.
summon them to like do
It is
things
known.
for you. Like, oh, we
Mm.
need that one human familiar to see if he can like convince these other humans.
But it's
to,
always a
you know,
new
We are
person.
all
It's always a new
in
person
the
every
opposite.
time. It's
Yeah,
just
it's
like
always
just
a new
some
person.
rando.
It's like, yeah, you summon some random like
We are all
person.
discarded buttons in this world.
Right?
Waiting to be
We have
collected by the
found-
Great
yes,
Bird.
Yeah.
But we have found our power in the pockets of Ratscratch. We have
Like
The
a
bird
fucking
is the
rubber,
word.
like a
Check,
thin
you
piece
check,
of
Oh my
wire.
god, this is exactly the message. It's like you all belong. Even this piece of lint can be a reason to cast invisibility.
Yeah.
The more
You know,
I say,
and like
you guys can't surprise me, the more the session ends with the cult of Ratscratch being formed.
I think
The
it's
cult
called
of Ka.
it would be called like bird all. Yeah, it has to have a better
It's
name.
the
like,
it's the Ratscratch experience.
Oh yeah, that's true.
I mean, like,
all
So,
things
have
are
you
experienced.
experienced?
are you
Yeah.
experienced?
For those of you that are in the central chamber, kind of discussing and catching up on the conversation, looking around to see if there's danger, Ratscratch, Calla, and 13 very mismatched Dwagar and 2 Drow come stumbling into the chamber, and we'll end there with the meeting of everybody all in that central chamber.
Hi,
Artifacts
friends.
in the hand of
These are friends.
Valorin.
You mean followers?
We're your flock,
We're your
obviously.
flock.
Oh.
Thank you. Thank you.
That's so good. Birds of a feather.
Oh my god.
Feathers of a bird. Birds of, I don't know, but that's
That's
good.
too good.
That's
God damn it.
amazing.
Oh my god, they would be the flock. 100%.
Oh, I am
That's
gonna
what the
have a
followers
cult.
would be.
I'm gonna have a cult, guys.
Oh dear.
I love it.
And then you have
No
all
more
these like,
terrifying words have ever been
no,
uttered.
this
I'm
is
gonna
like
have a cult, guys.
this is like Scientology. Like initially you're the hatchling. No, first you're the eggs, and then when you pay a certain subscription, you become the hatchlings, and then you
Tiered
become,
cult.
and then you know, it's like a whole system.
You know how much Ratscratch is slowly becoming Johnny Silverhand from Cyberpunk 2077? Like, he is really well on his way to being Johnny
The nuking
Silverhand right now.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
I
Just like,
love it.
fuck you all! Drink, drink, drink. Music. Like,
Honestly, maybe we just win this whole campaign with the power of cultdom. You know,
Yeah,
like
oh, yeah.
we become the new leaders
We're
of the new
taking the
world.
long
You
game.
know?
We're gonna beat a cult with a cult.
Yep.
Yes, the
we're gonna
followers.
out-cult the cult.
You know, we are
Wow.
forever now the flock. We are the flock. That's
Wow.
so good. That's so good.
Well, you know what? We haven't had a party name. We kind of settled on Ratscratch Experience for a little while, but I
flock
think
is
the flock
better.
is better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's subtle. It's tasteful.
It's
And then we can shout
subtle
things
it
like, "Flock you."
isn't.
It's not subtle at all.
Oh, it's classy.
It's
It's time
classy.
to flock off.
Let's get the flock out of
Oh,
here.
yeah. Yeah, that's what we tell
Time to
people
get the
to
flock
do.
out
Flock
of
is
here.
kidding
Get the
me.
flock out of here.
All right.
I love it. I love
Bye,
it.
internet.
Bye, internet.
Bye,
Sorry.
internet.
Sorry.
So
Sorry.
Sorry, internet.
No, I can't wait for the AI summary of this.
Oh, it's gonna
Oh
be
my
good.
God.
discussion.
Now